On this video I have a Sony Betamax video recorder. It is a SLC35 AS. They sold a lot of this sort of era one. I think the SLC34 was another one. Quite a common machine. This one's got a few dents in the top and some sort of piece of paper in there, so not sure what condition it's in. Cord's been cut off it. Just sold as a parts machine. But these were quite a nice video, these. Used to see a few of them for repair. And they did make some hi-fi versions, I think same mechanism, or similar mechanism anyway. With quite a bit of added stuff, of course. But these slimline Sony Beta machines were pretty good machines. I think they're mostly mechanical and stuff, not much in the way of belts in them from memory. Take bottom lid off to recover top of metal unraveling vertical roller wheel in semicircle track that fell off. Recovered vertical roller wheel outer cylinder on 18th of 2nd 2010. That doesn't sound too promising if bits and pieces are loose in there or anything. No, maybe it's just what someone did to it. Yeah, mechanical idler. I think these might have the Panasonic type toothed belts underneath. Yeah, these type of sort of rubbery belts with teeth on them, like in the Panasonic G-Mech. Do we still have some heads in there? There's one of them, and there's the other. They haven't been broken off or anything. There's the pinch roller. Well, I think we're probably safe to hook it up. Get a feeling there's a circuit board under the mech on the bottom, but I guess we probably should have a quick look and see what we got. So it must be, I reckon, one of the rollers that holds the tape guides and stuff that rotates up in these machines to wrap the tape around the head. That's probably what they're talking about falling off. Don't think I've ever had trouble with those in these Sonys, but I haven't looked at one for quite a while now. But people were still getting these fixed in the early 2000s. They actually went up in value massively. I had a few of my customers come in and say that they wanted belt kits in old Senios and stuff, because suddenly you get $200 each for a Beta machine on eBay. That was in the, getting around 2003 to 2005 or something. And I was happy to fix them for them. But there was a bit of a resurgence in them. I guess people wanting to recover stuff off old tapes, but for a while there, yeah, you basically couldn't give them away, working or not. But just the odd person wanted one fixed who still used them. And I did fix a few of the hi-fi versions of these for people that were still using them. Probably because they had a lot of tapes, and of course some people bought up all the Beta tapes when the video stores went out of them, so they had extensive collections of original tapes and stuff. And of course now everyone wants a fortune for Beta tapes, original ones, on eBay or somewhere. Whether they get it or not, I don't know, but they seem to be asking plenty. That's right, yeah, little board that swings up. Oh no, the spider's dead, that's what's wrong with it. When he dies, everything stops working. But I think that was just a spider's skin, so something's just grown bigger in here and left his skin behind. Yeah, you can't really see much at all in these. You've got to take that plate off. So you can't really see much, so I don't know what that note is saying. Been a long time since I've seen one of these mechs, but they are a nice compact little mechanism. I think generally the motors and everything in these just went forever normally. Can't remember what I ever repaired on these machines, but I don't think I ever did much in the way of repairs. I know the hi-fi ones, a friend of mine had a couple of them, and at least one of them had, I think, thermal fuses on solenoids had failed. I'm not sure if these had something similar. I don't think they got a lot of solenoids, but they may have a few little tiny solenoids hidden around the place. And I believe they had a thermal fuse in them that you could just bypass and put like another one on the outside. It's pretty unlikely that a solenoid would ever get that hot, but I guess for safety reasons, in case one got left with the voltage running into it constantly, it could get hot enough if the mechanism was jammed or something that it might melt the windings or whatever and possibly cause a fire. So usually best to put something back in place, but I remember doing that for his machines. He had two of them. I can't remember what the other one had wrong. You used to see the SLC9s with the little inverter for the clock used to fail in them, which I think you could repair with new capacitors and stuff. Although I could be wrong, maybe you had to replace them, can't remember now. But these, I know I did see a few of these for repair, but could have just been dirty heads or something, I really can't remember now. But yeah, a lot better than the old C6s and C5s and stuff, C7 machines, which were great big enormous ones. I do have a couple of them here, which I must get onto one day. I think there's a SLC6 only needs new belts. Well, that's the obvious thing wrong with it anyway. Who knows, once you get them in there, whether there's something else wrong with it. They were never the greatest machine, I don't think, but they're such a big old one that I don't think I ever really tried to get any of them going much. I don't think anyone ever bought one in for repair, at least to my business. Maybe somewhere I worked before them might have seen one or two. But they were not the greatest, and the SLC7, C5 are similar looking big top loading machines. And they're more just a novelty these days than anything. This is the sort of era Sony you would want to grab if you were going to actually use them for anything. Well, power comes on, clock's running, got a program light up, channels change, and we never did have a dummy tape for these. I get a feeling I might have gutted a beta tape at some point. I think I copied someone else where you get a big hole saw and just cut out most of the case, but I've got enough old ones that are all, well, that one's been spliced, so it's unusable really. Something's trying to turn there but not doing much, so I don't really care if I chew these tapes up much. I can see there's a big solenoid there. Is that just me pushing on it that's turning that? It might be. No motor action so far. Where is the motor? That is the motor under there. So do we have a jammed mech? Just turn the power off again. That certainly doesn't do much. But is that solenoid? What's the solenoid do? Does that allow that to operate? Because that's, yeah, that changes what functions this thing performs, I think. Either way, that seems to lock it. Oh yeah, it does. There's literally that tooth comes across and locks that motor from running at all. So we need a solenoid to clunk in first. Maybe I've already put the mockers on myself and found a faulty solenoid like I was talking about. No, the solenoid goes in and then nothing happens. It's this mech seized maybe. Okay, now at least I know where the operation. Take that off. I cannot even remember how to get a mech out of one of these things. Looks like you can take these, just take the top off today. Probably going to have to take the front panel off. See if the actual mechanism works. Well, I guess we can do that anyway, can't we? Oh yeah, so the mech's free. Don't actually need to take it out to do that. That's interesting then. So if that operates, well, maybe we'll just put it in there. See if the machine does anything from there. Is another possibility. Does it go on that side? I forgot which side of the thing it went. I think it just goes. Oh no, it does. It is toothed. Must go around the outside. Yeah. And now I can't turn anything to get it on. Can we get that to seat in better? No, let's turn it on. Ooh, that motor's struggling. So maybe we do have a faulty motor or something. Get a feeling I've got another one of these machines somewhere. You know, cassette light is flashing, cassette inside. Hit eject. It does a little bit and then just stops. Solenoid was in at least, but the motor doesn't seem to be doing much. That motor's just gutless. Something else is making a weird noise. Well, that's jammed. Oh, okay. Oh, because that gear gets blocked. Okay. So when I hit eject, which way is it going? It doesn't do anything. That gear's not jammed, is it? No, that should just be a free spinner, and it is. Let's get that out of the way. What? But this gear is running, even though it's trying to. Oh, what the? When I'm turning this, it's rotating that other gear, even though that other gear, depending where this lever is, it actually should be stopped. I hold it in between. Something's rotating, but tape's not doing a thing. I would have thought, oh, here we go. Something's lifting. Okay, you've got to turn it a lot to get anything to happen, but yeah, so that can eject. Okay, so now I know a little bit more about how it works. Put it back in place. Is it that this solenoid isn't... Yes, it's locking this gear. If I open that up a bit, it can sort of turn. That motor's absolutely hopeless, I think. Is it going the right way though? So that's trying to go clockwise. I don't think that's how you eject the tape. Or is it? Oh no, that's right. No, it's really not. And why does that gear lock? I assume there should be a clutch that disconnects there on that lower gear versus this. Oh, that comes off. Oh, that's how you get the belt off, I guess. You just pull that piece off, it actually comes off. I sort of stretched it a bit and went round it. I'll have a look at this mechanism. Got a little clip there. Plasticky kind of three-pronged thing. This area looks a bit more familiar. I get a feeling I may have had one of these apart before. We've got little planetary gears by the look of it. Does that lift off? And if not, why not? So the motor can spin within that by the feel of it. I wonder if this is all seized up or something. But of course, once you hit that, what is going on here? That shouldn't be. Oh, it's got the planetary gears, so maybe that disengages. What are the planetary gears? Oh, they wind this. So if that's held, yeah, this black gear I think should slip, and it just operates the upper thing. That motor feels seized or something there is. Looks like we've got to remove this plastic bit. That should take all this upper gear and crap out of the way. Yeah, take the spring off. Oh, this is clipped on, so we I do have to get rid of that one. We probably don't. I'll just use some cutters and pull that spring off that little. If I can grab hold of it, there we go. So be careful not to lose the spring on that little plastic bit. Then this whole motor assembly should come out, I guess. I do get a feeling I've pulled these apart in the past, so maybe they did get some issues. And I've got another gear right down here that does God knows what. That's the bit that runs the tape guides around by the look of it. So that's what that big white gear's job is. When that's engaged, we're in the loading phase of this rotary piece that comes around with all the guides on it. Now I think if we carefully spread these, because God knows how old and fragile these things are getting, we really should be able to, I reckon that's just dried up grease. I think I should be able to force that upwards. Then again, there's a bit of a gap opening up there, but how's this shaft attached? It's like a brass piece. I think that's press fitted. Something here should come off, surely, the gear or the whole piece. That's quite free, but it's not free relative to that. Let me think about this. See that, even that inner gear, oh no, the inner gear is probably fixed. That's actually slipping in my hand, that thing. Let's see if I can hold this without doing it any damage. Yeah, that rotates. That feels awfully stiff. Probably needs a bit of oil down in that gear. I think this other center gear is actually press fitted to the brass. The brass is press fitted to the motor shaft. So the big problem is likely that this gear doesn't have enough slippage, but am I sure about that? I think I am. I would like to pop this little gear, but there's a fair risk it's going to break or something if you try. I would get this. Oh no, it's starting to come. That felt really tight, but it's not. It's just bad grease, I think. Out you come. I get a feeling I may have had these broken at some stage or something. So with that out of the way, we should be able to lift this. Here it comes. Oh man, that is tight. Bloody hell. It's going to go flying off when it does come. Here we go. Okay, there's our issue, I think. We lubricate this little brass bit here. Hopefully we get some action. Be nice just to see if this machine's actually a go. And yeah, one good thing about these is you don't have to put a belt kit in them. And that's why you didn't see an awful lot of these for repair, because they just kept going and going and going. But of course this one's been sitting around, is probably its issue. I don't know if I really need to clean that one, because that is fixed in position. It's got a little D-shaped hole in it, so it's not meant to rotate on the shaft or anything. This is though, I'm pretty sure. It must do. If there's a thing to stop this other gear from turning, it's got to be able to slip. It's still amazingly tight. So is there still stuff on this shaft? There is a little bit of muck on it still, I think. May need something slightly abrasive on there, which I don't want to do if I don't have to. It does look a bit like it's a bit more scratched up than it should be. But if I can get rid of any lumps of anything on there, might even just gently run a screwdriver along it, because there still seems to be some lumps
some sort of black stuff on there. I'm not making any visible scratches at least. Just gotta be careful that doesn't drop on the heads or anything. Don't want to break them. Well, at least I can turn that without it forcing the motor shaft to turn though. Is it slightly turning? It's not the loosest. Still quite a tight fit. I would have thought that's too tight for something that's meant to slip. Alright, I'm going to put a bit of lube on there and see what happens, a bit of grease. See if that loosens it up a bit more, but it does seem rather tight. A bit too high tolerance. A fitting. I would expect some precision from Sony, but not quite that close. I doubt anything would have changed size or anything over the years. That's still quite a bit of, it just wipes the grease right off. There's no real clearance there. That's rather odd, I think. Is that turning in my head? I can't tell. Very hard to see. Well, it's certainly a lot freer than it was. Surely it can't be that tight that no grease can even get in there. But at least if we touch that now, we should be able to spin that. I can definitely see the D-shaped bit of the motor going around. Well, that's probably enough. I would like to see a bit more grease sticking on the shaft. But it's capable of freedom, so let's just put it back together, I guess, and see if the machine actually runs. Yeah. Gear must engage with something down there. Bit fiddly to get back in there. I guess the other thing I probably should test while I've got a part, see if I can actually use this to rotate the. Oh, here it goes. Might as well check that that's free while we're at it. Although I've got a tape in here, haven't I? So I'm going to start pulling tape out. But anyway, it does move, so I think we can assume. Oh, it's already out. Maybe that could be the problem. Should that be out there? I wouldn't have thought it should. In fact, something looks loose down in there. What is that thing? That guide or whatever is disconnected from whatever it should be connected to, I think. Yeah, that's stuck in place for this. There we go. Yeah, that's the main guide, but it's dragging a little piece down the channel here. And then that's getting caught up here. Or is there something in the way? Is it this? No, that does not want to come back down the channel here. Cool, that's stuck now. Why is it sticking there? Okay, so this does have a few issues by the look of it. And that's probably why, because it's sticking. Oh man, that is tight through there. Is it going to go? That tape guide does not come back, I don't think, so whether it should be... Maybe it's meant to be joined to the plastic bit, maybe I'm forcing it where it shouldn't go. I don't know what that originally attached to. I can see a bit of stuff about Japan there. Let's get rid of the tape. And
you come. Going the wrong way, am I? That's it. Still not it. Come on. Stuck. I think that's at the end. I got no idea what is supposed to move that guide around. What's it supposed to catch on? This is sliding without the guide. Here comes a pinch roller. So we were in roughly... what's that little metal piece there? There it is. That's what it catches in. That little piece down in there, there's a little slot. And I think part of it might be broken off. Not sure. It doesn't look broken, but I can't see. There's a piece missing, I think. So this guide should come back, but why won't it fit through that hole? So we know it definitely should come back. It's hitting something definitely hard there. Not sure what though. Is it the piece that's dragging? I don't think so. It shouldn't be catching on anything. Oh, that's as far as it goes. So this is probably going to need the whole tape guide assembly and track pulling out. Something's wrong there somewhere. And whatever it is, I'm guessing this machine came back, hit this tight spot, whatever it is, broke the piece down there and left the guide here, and that's what we've come across. Then it's been abandoned and that bit's seized up. Okay, to get this bit back in, pull the little plastic bit across and put the spring on there. I've got 2 screw holes on top of the solenoid, and I think we need to lift that plastic bit over the pin. It's a metal pin that holds this other brass bit into the solenoid. Lift up over that so that that pulls on the white plastic bit, and of course it slipped off again as soon as I look at something else. Yeah, so that sits, there's like a little cup in the face of this where that little pin sits. And that's the one with the big washer on it. Yeah, so that when the solenoid goes in, moves this bit across from one gear to the other. And our clip. Put the belt back on. Hopefully we can at least get it to load in and out now. I mean, one of the problems with beta machines is they then go and try and grab the tape. But of course we know this one can't, well, it can do it with the pinch roller, I guess. It can't do it with the other one. So it probably will pull tape out of the cassette housing. If we do that, put that screw back in the loading mat. We didn't need to take that out. Well, it reset itself, so that's a good sign. Still not really working very well, but we do have loading, and now we're gonna, our pinch roller is going, so it's sucking out the tape. It is actually hooked around a guide there. Do we get drum spin up? No, I think we've, has it given up or something? Oh no, it's in rewind, stop, fast forward. I think these buttons aren't the best, but at least the drum is trying to go, but it won't go into play mode for some reason, possibly. Ooh. Oh no, we're in play mode now. It's decided to, better stop that. Yeah, it goes into play now. Rewind. Yeah, these buttons are either
got bad contacts or there's some sort of delay. Let's eject it and see what happens. Hopefully it sucks the tape back in. Except our guides are not coming back at all. That's not a good sign. So that's running. That's stopped. But we're not getting any guide action. Why? That winds the guides up, so I think that's winding them back. So we've got another issue. This whole guide assembly is probably a bit dodgy. I'm not seeing anything moving at all, so it's like it's disengaged now. Yeah, it's engaged in the up direction. It goes back slightly and then nothing. Well, I think I'll leave that tape in there for now. But it's generally laced up rather well. Something doesn't look right because that's right, tape comes up round to this guide which is stuck in that hook, and that one there. But pretty sure it should have come right up to here, of course. Yeah, there's the erase head or something. And then it goes round the drum, yeah, through back around here. So it is kind of laced up anyway, but only up to this point. But I don't know why that doesn't want to unlace. But it's possible because this piece has come up into that tight area that maybe it won't release there. That's at least got some flex in it. Sprung little guides. But I think this is going to need a full dismantling of all this tape guide stuff, which may mean the drum has to come out as well, probably. Let's have a look. Now whether this machine's even worth doing that with, could be an interesting one to do just for the hell of it. If I do have another one of these somewhere, it would be even better if I can compare the two. Yeah, it looks like you take it's two sprung bits, so they might set the actual angle of the heads or something. But 3 screws, drum assembly should lift up, pull these plugs. I don't think I've ever even just dismantled one of these machines to get parts out of it or for the hell of it or anything. Can't remember ever pulling one of those mechs apart that far, but I may have done. So I think, yeah, you're going to have to lift that drum assembly out. Maybe you can leave it in there, but then we're really going to have to pull this plastic guide bit up and see why on earth the thing's jamming in there. And it looks like we've possibly got this other bit jammed in there. I can always just cut that tape and remove it. It's already been spliced once, so another time won't matter, or throw it away. Oh well, an interesting one to at least have a look at so I know what I've got here. But I think we'll leave that one for the moment and get back on it when I've got some more time. So thanks for watching.